Hello, everyone. Welcome to Far From Just Words. This is Akumbe. The last video I posted about Ibrahim Traoré is something that today I want to expatiate on. Right? We already know what is happening with Ibrahim Traoré and Burkina Faso. Right? And how he came to be the president of that country. Right? The military is a respectable corps in any nation. The military is There are the people that seek the truth, that come in when all is said and done and put an order to things and put things in place, right? Yes, the military takes its order from the number one in every nation, right? But they cannot be seen partaking in any destruction, orchestrating any hazard or anything, right? The military cannot even be at the beck and call of any political leader, no matter who he is, at any level, any civil servant at any level. Why? Because they respect themselves enough to understand that in every nation, the military is like a separate entity from that which the government is made of or made up of, right? They come in when they see that something is wrong. That's why the military, literally, when you sign yourself in to become a military guy or a soldier, you know is ride or die. You know it. You might not want to accept it, but that is what it is. So they would die for you, and that's why people in most nations respect the military. It is not easy to have that much courage to go and sign up for something that you don't know if you're going for war, you're going to come back alive. There are people that have dignity. They know what it means. But there are always exceptions to every case. The exception to every case is the thing that is happening in Burkina Faso. Is the thing that is happening in most African nations. You go to war, you come back to the same country over and over again. No light, no electricity, no pipe, no water, no roads, no education for your children. The same thing that happened to your dad, you grow up to be a man and still see it happening in your time. And you tell me that what Ibrahim Traoré did is so bad that every other African nation hate him and say it's bad. Yes, we know a coup d'etat is a bad thing. But tell me something. Is it that bad that we know the reason why he did it? Because you can act dumb, but I believe that most of you went to study in most of one of the most renowned universities. Most of you studied in those universities with all those names, Harvards and Oxfords and all those things. You studied in one of those universities, and yet you came back home, saw all the beauty on the streets, the buildings, the infrastructures, and you came back home to destroy your own countries, and you expect nothing. You expect that nothing would happen because you believe that the citizens, as we have been nicknamed so many times by anyone, shithole countries, black monkeys, the dumbest race, and all those names, and you don't seek to change anything. You don't wish for anything to change. You're so happy when you go in your nice cars and your nice clothes, your suits, and your kids are in those schools, and they say my dad is this, my father is this, my uncle is this. You're so happy. You're okay because you're right there. But the thing is, change is coming, whether you like it or not. So there is something that I learned being in China, right? There is one thing. Policies do change, but parties don't change. And the policies are changed by those involved in politics. And most times, in capitalist nations, the billionaires and the millionaires, can change any policy. They can override even a political leader because they have money. I mean, that is what is called capitalism. The politics in the world doesn't have enough, those nations don't have the regulations to overpower capital. So it's in the hands of those that are rich. But then that's why most of those nations are failing. Now, how do we expect to grow like all the nations? Okay, because let's say, for example, in the 21st century, for one, from what I know, China is one of the best, has one of the best political systems in the 21st century. Now, if you're a kid growing up, you want to admire something. Won't you admire the uncle that is educated, the one that knows his onions? Don't you admire something that can lead to you changing your own self and being better at something? So let's go back to the point of the video. A man sits in a congress, in a senate, and makes allegations that he knows nothing about. And this almost seems like it's I mean, we have seen the social media. Everyone is talking about it now, because it almost seems like the same events are about to repeat themselves. Are we going to allow that to happen? Because most political leaders are always in these things where either they say they make excuses, or they decide to take a decision when it's too late. So now that we have the social media, I mean, this is the good thing about the 21st century. Now that we have the social media, so we are saying these things and they're listening. So I hope they're listening and they are watching and are making decisions, because no matter what that brother did, he did it for the good of his people. He did it because people like you, political leaders like you, would prefer an expensive suit, an expensive car, and three or four mansions here and there in Dubai and that, and your kids, spoiled kids in some schools, in some place, other than understanding that those monies that you are spending are taxpayers' monies that were supposed to build that country to what it was supposed to be, so that those people that belong to that country, that's those citizens, can be proud of themselves everywhere they stand. Not be called monkeys and dummies and all those things, shitholes. Because in fact, if we are shithole countries, I mean, they are the toilets, because that's where all the shits are being dumped nowadays. That's where it's being dumped. And remember, I wrote a monologue, and kind of a spoken word monologue, that I was talking about big man, big agbada, and I said something. And I would like to remind you guys, and I'm going to remind you on this, and you can go down on my page and watch it again. Big man, big agbada. That's the name. That's the title of the spoken word poetry. They will send someone that looks like you, because right now they're signing people that look like you into the military. So what do you think that they're going to send? They're going to send someone that looks like you. So you, the politician, that thinks that you're winning. No, someone that looks like you is going to be the one that's going to pull the trigger. Because why? Let me tell you why. I was asking myself over and over, like, why would they sit down an African black man? Because no matter how you look at it, if he's Caribbean, from wherever you want to look at it, you can call him black, green, or red, or yellow, or whatever people call themselves these days. Should be told you're African. When you come to Asia, you won't understand. when they see you and me, you're African. No matter how your accent is big, is better, or you call Ghana, or you call a bottle, you say instead of a bottle, you say a butter, or you say bottle. No matter how you sound, they will say you're an African. They know you're an African. No matter how historians have distorted the history, and as they say the history is written by the winners. It doesn't change. So we may even like to blame him, but I can't blame him. He's already in the system. That's his job. Maybe he looks like us. But the thing is, there is no better person to use as an example at this moment in time. They need a face like his. And even better, they need someone looking like him when time comes. He will be the one behind the gun, especially in a place like Africa. Because this time around, they know we are on alert and we are waiting. That's why I wrote that poem, Big Man, Big Agbada. They've been signing people that look like me and you into the military. What do you think is for? What do you think is for? They have bigger plans for you. And truth be told, sometimes with the pain in our hearts and all the nonsense, truth be told, I wouldn't blame a brother for trying to pull that trigger, because truth be told, you guys have done too much. Anyways, I'm going to end this video by saying someone like Ibrahim Traoré that is trying his best to do something for his nation, people should stand behind him. And all those other African leaders and presidents and prime ministers and kings should stand behind him. It's high time we know what it means to do the work. It's not always about the money. Projection. How do you want to see, even if you're not around to see what will happen, but how do you expect the future of your kids, your great grandkids to be or to look like? Why do we always like to look at the now? We forget the tomorrow. Chop rub mop for Dan. Man, chop broke pot. That's another saying in my country, in Cameroon. We say chop broke pot. You eat, then you break the pot. We have to share ideas. We have to share everything, literally, because we are actually the last right now. And we have everything that it takes to be the best. We have it. We just need to organize ourselves and know what is important. Let's prioritize what is important. What are our priorities? What is the priority right now? Roads, industrialization, factories, medical infrastructures, medical equipment, hospitals. Let's put time in these things. All these titles and all these exams and all these names, that all these suits that you wear and you go for, I mean, it's not a family meeting. I mean, no one is around to come to you. You come for a family meeting, they should call you names, Nini, Baba, or whatever they call you, boss, in your language, whatever they call you in your language. It's not for that anymore. Nobody cares in the 21st century. You didn't write all those exams and get into those positions for that. Do the job. Thank you very much. The definition of the definition of that job, that position you're holding, it's in the name. This is far from just words. Bayakumbe. Take care.